All right, gentlemen, the rules were given to you both earlier. I want a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Shake hands. Good luck to both of you.
Sort of a washing machine stomach, actually.
Such a cynic.
And we are set to go. And I think Tommy Morrison will be all business here. And once again, this is quite a showcase for these young heavyweights. And I think all of them that we see tonight will.
This might be his big knockout weapon.
Morrison able to work the body very well. Still trying to really to get himself back. And the good left hand, down goes Tillis.
I guess he does have a good left hook.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Tillis shakes his head.
Hey, you okay?
Says, I'm not sure, I want a lot more of this. Doesn't appear to be hurt.
And the first one came courtesy of a very good left hook. He just didn't want to make me a liar when I said his left hook was so good. And there it is, sending James. I think he's shocked that he got nailed with that punch.
And a right hand gets there also. And incidentally, that was set up by a body shot. Another left hand. Tillis is in trouble.
And this is a very small ring. There is nowhere for Tillis to go. It's about an 18-foot ring. Well, Tommy Morrison has come out blazing.
And a good combination again by Morrison. A left and a left behind him. An uppercut, and down goes Tillis. Very impressive.
3, 4, 5, 6.
And Tillis is still in a heap of trouble. And as you see, still halfway to go in the first round.
Would be now. Here's the second knockdown. And Morrison crunching him with the left hand and the straight right again. And the accuracy of the punches, there you see the uppercut, a good example. And his accuracy is amazing with his punches. This is a very good effort by Morrison, even if we're wondering if Tillis is, well, there it is.
That's it. And that took 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Or 1 minute and 52 seconds. My addition's never been very good.
3 knockdown rule. Morrison pursuing, and as you said, Barry, being very meticulous with his punches. And economical as well, and that left hook did the job.
The winner by TKO, still undefeated now, 25-0, 21 KOs, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
Any questions? Any questions for 2 seconds? All right, remember, obey my commands, protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves now, let's get to them.
Get through the early rounds and take Tommy Morrison into the late rounds and test him. See how his endurance is.
We're not expecting much of a feeling out process here. These are two fighters that predominantly like to fight straight ahead.
One thing about Joe Hipp, as you see right away, he is a southpaw. Joe Hipp is not going to be a twinkle toes out there.
You're referring to Vaulin, who he fought back in April of 1991. That was actually on the Holyfield Foreman undercard.
And he knocked 28 of them out, big deal. But the fact is how he moved them. What happened when he hit him? He just explodes when he lands.
And he doesn't have the hand speed to pick off those jabs.
Right.
Oh, another jab lands by Morrison.
It might work for him at the lower levels of boxing. Well, not at the top. There's the hook.
A good sweeping left hook. A slow right hand by Tommy Morrison. Did tire badly in the Mercer fight, although you get the impression that it wasn't so much from lack of conditioning. He's a tense fighter, Alex. He just is one of those people that...
I think also that Ray Mercer started to punch back in that 4th round, and I think those punches might have had more effect on Tommy than Tommy's admitted.
It's Tommy Morrison on the left of your screen, circling to the top.
And another nice jab from Morrison. I mean, that's a punch. He wants to prove to himself that he can be a boxer. And Joe swelling, especially in the right eye, which is real dangerous.
A spectacular combination by Morrison, a pair of jabs and then a right.
Joe Hipp just kind of fell into a right to the body there. He came inside with a scoring left hand and got out of the way of Tommy Morrison's punch coming back, which he hasn't done much of.
There's Tommy Burgetts in the corner, who is the trainer of Tommy Morrison, co-trainer along with John Brown
and a conditioning expert.
Yes.
Somebody who's worked very hard to get Tommy Hipp a little bit more active here. Not as much coming back from Tommy Morrison. Awkward right hand by Hipp.
Yeah, he tried to get inside.
Okay, pal, I'm in here trying to get the job done. Don't bother me.
Well, with that left hand of Hipp as it came in, just... Tommy Morrison under control and very measured here. We're coming to the end of the second round. Morrison has been very successful. We're here at 4,500 feet, roughly, in elevation here in Reno, and
that's all part of the way that Tommy Morrison has reacted to the loss. I mean, you learn from it, you get better. Good left and a right downstairs by Morrison. we're in round 3, and he hasn't looked close to being hurt. I thought the best punch there. You see Peter Overland's trainer. I thought the worst Joe looked was when so shut that they had to stop the fight in a TKO in the 5th round.
We want to remind our local ABC stations that at the end of this round, we're going to take a station break.
See Joe trying to counter.
A sweeping
backing
move
up, giving ground.
You know, that move by Morrison, Alex, took him off balance, and Hipp was too slow to take advantage of it.
A feint there, kind of an awkward feint, but you saw one good thing. There's a good side. Tommy Morrison had his right up to pick off the...
After this word from our ABC stations.
Whoa.
4th round here in Reno, Nevada. I'm Dan Deerdorf along with Alex Swallow. We're ringside for a 10-round heavyweight fight between Tommy Morrison, who's on the left of your screen, and Joe Hipp to the right. Joe Hipp from a hand speed category is several notches below Tommy Morrison, but he's game.
He's coming forward very, very slowly, but he is coming forward. Whether that's just Tommy Morrison wanting to draw him onto his punch.
If you just joined us, that Joe Hipp is a southpaw fighter, only the second that Morrison has faced professionally.
Keep the punches up, boys.
And of course, facing a right-hander is nothing new. Hey, there's a good combination by Joe Hipp.
The best sequence in the fight for Joe Hipp.
We got to go after this guy. Tight, hit tight, tight.
No, that didn't cause the cut. And now you have to have questions about Tommy Morrison's step.
Another left hand by Hipp.
And he responded with a big left.
He sure did. You saw Morrison come in with it.
And more important than the cut was how vulnerable he looked to a guy in Joe Hipp who really, as big as he is not a power puncher, Dan. He's really kind of an arm puncher.
Great uppercut by Morrison.
And the first one we've seen.
And a right to the chin puts Joe Hipp down. Hipp is up, beats a count. Dracula asking him if he can go on.
Down in round 5, watch the right hand from Morrison. Shows the left, and then boom, like almost a right hook.
Good, solid right uppercut, and then a right to the chin by Morrison.
From a man who's supposed to be a
right hand by Hipp, Alex.
From somebody who's supposed to be a left hooker. He's using his right hand better than we've seen. He's busted up in the mouth.
Yep, Hipp bleeding from the mouth. And Tommy Morrison, a double right hand. And Joe Hipp better protect himself.
If he's got enough left, he looked tired in the 4th. Another half hook, half uppercut with the right hand by Tommy Morrison.
And Hipp better put himself, Alex, in more of a defensive mode. As you say, either by hanging on. And Tommy Morrison, a double right hand. You see Hipp look over at Dracula.
He knows his body a lot better than we do, and he might sense that he was getting real tired. I mean, he spent a lot of energy. And he may be right. He may be exhausted right now and looking to let his tank fill up a little bit.
A great deal from the mouth, and Alex and I were both talking to each other during that commercial break about the admiration we have for Joe Hipp. He
had Tommy Morrison just faint from exhaustion, and it just changed his whole life. And he's fighting as though it depended upon it.
Good left hand by Joe Hipp.
Past this point in round 6, he was knocked out, but he's never scored one. Not much coming back from Tommy Morrison. He is clearly... another left hand from Joe Hipp.
Boy, that one was right there. And you can see it has backed up Morrison. And another good combination and a retaliation by Morrison. He has apparently stemmed that flow of blood from his mouth. There's a good right hand by Morrison, but while it scored, it didn't look to do much damage. Here we come to the end of round number 6. In the 7th round of a professional fight. And he looked spent at the end of the 6th. And remember that early in his career, he was just a one-punch fighter, and it was the left hook. It was devastating.
And really a thing of beauty, just a natural hook. Rocky Balboa and Joe Hipp were both southpaws, so there are some similarities.
That's right. Again, a reminder that knee brace on the right leg of Joe Hipp is nothing current. It just goes back.
He's not planning himself. He's bouncing and trying to punch at the same time. Good right hand there.
A good right hand counter by Morrison.
You know, the big thing is, it appears the problem is good combination by Hipp. You have to say Morrison's biggest problem is stamina, his endurance, but also in his record is difficulty with one southpaw.
With Joe Hipp being the stalker. Now, certainly Tommy Morrison, we're not implying that this...
He is trying to survive.
Yeah. To give you an illustration...
Good uppercut by Joe Hipp.
A good uppercut by Hipp. A reminder here. We'd like to remind our local ABC stations that at the end of this round, we will be taking a station break.
Oh, good, solid.
Good right hand to the ribs.
Oh!
And there was a good scoring combination by Joe Hipp.
And a good elbow to the throat by Joe Hipp. Then unless Tommy Morrison does get a second or third win or whatever he's looking for, that Joe Hipp could just walk into him.
Joe was born, grew up in Yakima, Washington, lives now outside Seattle, and he is on the verge of possibly doing something that 10-1 underdog in this fight against Tommy Morrison.
I think the final price was 11-1. He is a very live underdog.
Yes, there has to be concern in the corner of Tommy Morrison. There's John Brown, his co-manager and trainer, and yes, that is a concerned look. And you see Joe Hipp scored with an uppercut. But this crowd here in Reno has definitely swung over Joe Hipp in favor of Hipp, and again, Alex, he scored. Of boxing left. This is the final minute of the ninth.
Wide open the mouth of Tommy Morrison, absolutely exhausted.
And that's
He's all busted up.
And that's how it gets cut. You can't fight with your mouth open. Oh, a good right hand by Morrison, and that hurts Joe Hipp. Joe Hipp is in trouble. Joe Hipp is down. A right hand from Tommy Morrison staggers Joe Hipp. He's up at 8, and that's the end of the fight. Dick Drekulich stops the fight. And Tommy Morrison summons the power today, and it saves him in the ninth round. Here it is, Alex.
The full angle. The left missed, the right hand landed. And that right hand really hurt Joe Hipp, much more than it looked.
Yep. You saw his legs just
and another right. Boy, the right hand doing almost all the damage. That uppercut missed, but Joe was just not in a position to defend himself and went down.
Alex, I'm not sure he would have survived the first right hand. Watch the right hand. Here, next punch. Right there.
Oh,
I don't think Joe Hipp, I don't think he would have
chopping
recovered.
punch. Let me just go through the scorecards that we have right here. Official scorecards. Keith McDonald had it 76-75 Morrison. Doug Tucker, 76-75 Hipp. Herb Santos, 76-75 Hipp. I'm sorry, Morrison. The fight's still up for grabs. 2 judges with Morrison ahead by a point, 1 judge with Hipp ahead by a point. All right. Yes.
This Morrison can punch anything like his legendary relative, the Duke. We'll be back.
For the winner, by unanimous decision, still undefeated, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
Don't go off to the refrigerator here, folks. Mike Robinson will try to fight back to the forearm that saw him put the land shark. Morrison misses with his first left hand and did manage to clear the mosquitoes out of him. You can see Morrison probably a bit more of a chance to get his man out of there than Robinson. Robinson's had a tough time his last two fights.
Caden saw a videotape as a courtesy to a friend of Tommy Morrison and liked it because of the left hook. And
good body shot back here, double Robinson up. There was the left hook, and Robinson doubles up. Morrison wisely goes back to the body. Robinson just trying to get out of trouble. Heavy-handed.
it's a little bit like Jerry Cooney, the way he throws his left hook and leans over and gets maximum power into that.
Body shots by Morrison, and he's still got 30 seconds to get through this round. Morrison just doing a great job of the body. Robinson goes down.
And before that happened, it lent credence to the phrase, out but not down.
6, 7. Absolutely right.
And they finally just add up. Robinson cannot move out of the way of shots. And then you see
Morrison has 10 seconds left. It won't take much more. Big right hand. And Robinson is in trouble again. Robinson somehow got through the round. And then he one punch that put Robinson down. He was in trouble again. In the last 10 seconds. Robinson gets a quick right hand off. But takes a huge left. This ain't a question of time here. And another big left hand. Robinson's in trouble again.
I think we'll see a little bit of the Tyson mistake here. But all you can do is move back into the path of shots. Very dangerous.
Big right hand once again. Robinson in trouble.
But it's a showcase. It's his biggest so far.
Yeah, it is. Robinson right on the button of Morrison. And that's something that other fighters who may take on Tommy Morrison in the future will certainly go to school on.
Robinson showed that he came here for a reason, at least.
Huge body shot. And down goes Robinson. Booing, but those are some really tough body shots.
Wicked shots and near the kidney area. It's not a thing you wake up the next day and you might have a broken bone.
Steve Smoker wisely stops this fight.
The winner by TKO is record now 14-0, 12 knockouts, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
You're both given your instructions by the New Jersey Boxing Commission. Are there any questions with the rules? Both use touch gloves. Touch glove.
He manages himself, and this is kind of a crossroads fight for Jesse Shelby.
And a dangerous situation to be in, self-managed.
Get them hands low.
Getting the age of 13, the contemplated fight is 21, and he lost only once.
He's now starting to acquire some finesse.
Well, it was enough to attract Bill King. Mike Tyson's a strange kid. Yes, early. Shelby not throwing much here. Morrison. He's owning it right now.
He's showing again aggressiveness, patience, positioning. Shelby is coming off a layoff since May of 1988.
One of the fighters, Van Holyfield, that he had worked against.
To offset Shelby's natural age and experience.
Shelby admitted to a little burnout after 11, 12 years of boxing, and that's why he took the time off. Trying to survive the rust.
Doesn't want Shelby to get any big dreams of doing something spectacular.
Morrison has gone 6-1 time in his 14 fights. Professionally oriented operation.
Well, does this look like a heavyweight fight? No jabs were recorded in the first round. Power shots.
Morrison low. That one, Shelby backs off in disgust. He's the ropes and let Morrison fire away.
Well, the shots he took in the first round have to contribute to that. A good number went to the body. And they're going to slow down.
I mentioned Morrison has not fought a southpaw as a professional. He did as an amateur. Incidentally, as an amateur. Big right hand, followed up on the left.
Here you're going to see it from the outside. The left hook from a distance and the right hand coming behind it. Neither one exactly textbook flush, but both of them effective. He gets around the lazy right hand thrown out by Shelby. That hits him on the top of the head. The right hand, a pretty good shot there.
The winner by knockout victory, he's now 15-0, 13 by KO, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
Now look, if he goes right here, I'm not going to call him low, all right? Any questions over here? Over here, let's get it on, come on.
Again, is former footballer, running back at the University of Indiana, actually had a cup of coffee before the game of Broncos national football fighter. Better in his next fight, and tonight he topped it off.
There we see now. There's the left hook on the top of the head. Now, that wasn't a perfect left hook, and yet it still gave Rick Ennis all.
Come here. All right, go ahead.
Knockdown before they stopped. A nice uppercut on the inside by Morrison there. And so not just a left-handed puncher, and clubbed him with a good right hand.
The winner by TKO, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
Because of necessary surgery 3 times on that right hand. He's described as a elusive boxer, wants to stick and run. Forehand, he had a big left hook, something to watch for. He said he did a problem. He stick and run. He welcomes the opportunity. It's experience, he said. Here he is.
Terrell. The thing is, that wild overhead right, and you can see down in the lower part of the corner, Logan Hopkins.
KO's the winner, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
Wondering what the heck is going on. Of course, all the hoopla around Morrison, and just before we came to you, Stallone and Burt Youngman reenacting what would be.
Left hand started Canady off. Stay a little busier and just generally getting a little bit quicker. Canady, incidentally, has been in there against the best in the heavyweight division. He fought Mike Tyson. I asked him how that fight was. He said, I don't know, it wasn't there long enough.
It was fast. Lost to Willie DeWitt, so he's your basic trial horse type at this point in his career. Can it affect your performance in the ring? He's not in there against the top heavyweight, but still, the man who's punching back. Right now, it doesn't seem to be. Morrison is really.
He said he thought about being an actor at some point, but he figured it wouldn't come for 5 or 6 years, and here he is, 20 years old. The time span for him, unlike that of Ray Mercer, who we'll see later tonight, is much more relaxed. About 2 years, they say, the mouthpiece flew out of Morrison's mouth.
Methodical in the times we've seen him box.
Right hand, Canady started to go, but stayed right there. Body shots have been a very effective weapon, incidentally, for Tommy Morrison. In Atlantic City, he did so largely with body shots.
There is underneath the eye of Tommy Morrison.
Not in a place where it would give him any trouble, but it just popped open, and I think it was that right hand, that straight right hand.
Canady has found a home for that right hand.
And the
farther Morrison lets Canady into this fight, the more Canady will think, maybe I can beat this guy. Morrison doesn't win the fight, Canady gets the part.
Should be a lot at stake for Tommy Morrison here.
Unfortunate thing here for Canady is I'm sure this is not a huge payday for him. SAG, of course, the Screen Actors Guild, I will say that. There's a left hand, but Canady's still there.
Tommy Morrison's left hook tonight is much wider than it's been lately. We've talked before about how it's been a shorter punch.
Tommy Morrison, it isn't the type of cut that you would think would cause him a great deal of problem, because obviously the blow is not going to get into the eye, the cut being below it on the cheek.
And not something you would think probably about stopping the bout, because of Tony Orlando, who's a very fine referee, warning Canady about the holding.
Canady getting that left hand in on that cut. You can really see Canady's confidence start to swell a little bit here. And we come to the end of the second round. Who'd have thunk it? Right hand thrown by Canady, but it was a headbutt.
Clash of heads between those two as they came together. Some have come completely unglued. Doesn't look like that is happening to Morrison, and certainly it's not a cut that's in a bad spot for him.
I don't think toughness, as we look at the punch profile in round 2, is any test. At 14, he had to lie about his age.
Yeah, he is a tough guy, and I doubt that it will have any impact on him.
Morrison getting a little frustrated, I think. He's kind of lunging at Canady a little bit, not setting down his punches like he usually does.
Yeah, there you have how I scored the first 2 rounds for Morrison. And then he went a couple with Rainbow.
Body shot by Morrison there.
So he can hang in there. 4 with Willie DeWitt. Knocked out by Tyson in 1, but then that's not too shocking.
Yeah, no.
For world championships.
Canady works for the city of Detroit. He said, very candidly when we asked him this morning, that this is a job. He's not a record, but the record is a little bit deceiving because we mentioned 4 of those 6 losses against some pretty good competitors.
Yeah, when Lorenzo faces the run-of-the-mill heavyweights, he's been able to beat him. Like, for instance, he beat Tracy Thomas in the split decision. That was the guy that lost to Mercer a couple of fights ago.
Canady got a right hand in just a moment ago. That wasn't a bad shot at all, and Morrison misses a pair.
Effort by Tommy Morrison tonight is less precise than previous efforts.
We just have to think, and I'm not making excuses for him, but you have to think he was Morrison's corner. And he said, boy, it wasn't that long ago we were in Great Falls, Montana, and it was me and Tommy Morrison. And now Bill Caton's there. There were 25 people from the movie industry, as you mentioned, in his locker room. Things are getting tougher, if only by a matter of numbers, and a right hand by Canady at the bell. Will be from Lorenzo Canady, and again, you just have to think that he might be a little distracted, and I don't mean to take anything away from Canady.
Good indication there of how that round went. Canady throwing more and landing exactly the same amount. Getting off slower, there's no question about that in recent fights. His jab is a pawing jab. It's not as stiff as it has been in other fights.
Morrison got Canady in the corner and then missed him.
Canady, though, is fighting this like he's a sparring partner, honestly. He needs to go after it right now. He knows he's got a guy there who isn't fighting as well as he can fight. He's got to be throwing more. I think Canady should be throwing a few more punches, trying to counter him a little bit more. Like that. Good body shot by Canady underneath.
Canady.
And Lorenzo is covering up extremely well and countering.
Yeah, counter left hand right there.
The plot is definitely thickening here, I'll tell you. A little uppercut on the inside by Canady. He's got Morrison lunging now with that left hook. He's got him thinking, I'm frustrated, I've got to go after this guy and hit him with 1 punch.
And he himself is coming over the top. That's right, not the movies. And in this case, art not following life. Yeah, Morrison really starting to show a little bit of frustration here.
Morrison has been 6 once before in his career, beating Aaron Brown in Kansas City back in July of this year. Wasn't he a great defensive end with the Kansas City Chiefs? Aaron Brown, not this Aaron Brown. Interesting. Canady landing about 3 more than Morrison, and Tommy not throwing too often.
Canady right now looking to counter back to the ropes, hoping to catch Morrison lunging in. Now he's covering up.
Covering up rather well.
And your card.
Very close, Morrison by 1 point. And remember that 3rd round, which was very close, if that one had gone to Canady. Well, tonight was a night when we thought we might see a little bit more of what Ray Mercer's about. Good uppercut on the inside by Canady because Jones beat Michael Bent. What about Tommy Morrison? Are we finding out a little bit of where he is at? You know what's ironic? I would have expected Harry Terrell, who granted is old for a fighter that has a little more experience. I would have expected him to test Morrison more than this guy.
Big right hand by Morrison might have been his best punch of the fight there, and that may have slowed Canady.
It did, yeah.
That comes back fine.
Very important sequence for Canady. He's going after Morrison.
That uppercut is really there for Canady. He's scored with that punch a half a dozen times in this round alone. There it is again.
Boy, that 20 seconds for Lorenzo Canady was vital. Morrison looked like he was ready to take control of this fight completely.
And now you have to wonder here again, how do the judges look at this? Do they look at that 1 punch by Morrison and say that was enough? Because Canady really has done more in the rest of the round.
I don't know if the judges are seeing this as close as I am, but I think it's a very close bout.
Very hard fight, to be honest, for Lorenzo Canady to win. A situation where you have a tendency to watch Tommy Morrison and not watch his opponent.
And you can see the numbers favoring Morrison a little bit here now. Probably because those first 2 rounds, remember, he won by bigger margins. Well, people might be surprised to see this, but I think it's a dead even fight. I gave Canady the last round by the narrowest of margins. Canady has run his round by smaller margins than Morrison has, but still, I think he's right in there. In here ready and focused for this fight. He did not.
Canady going to the body, coming back with the right hand, and now he covers up as Morrison counters.
Canady has found a home for that uppercut during much of this bout, but the crowd getting on the fighters a little bit. Maybe they're getting on Morrison a little bit for not being able to finish.
Morrison is leaning on Canady now.
He uses his jab. It's a very effective weapon. When he just tries to throw the big left hook or the overhand right, coming in, he is less effective.
Right hand by Canady. Another headbutt.
Body shot in there by Morrison. He hasn't done as much of that as he would like with that wide girth of Canady. You think you want to work on that a little bit. See, Morrison coming in with that right hand. Got to jab your way in.
I think he could really start to develop that habit, putting people away as easily as Tommy Morrison had coming into this fight. The crowd doesn't really like it too much. You have the feeling that Morrison probably did enough.
By unanimous decision, still undefeated, Tommy Duke Morrison.
Gosh, I guess I saw it differently than the judges, eh?
Now there's an upset.
go. Come on. Come on. Two hands are free. You got both hands free in there. Come on. Get that elbow down in there, Red Trunks. Come on. Two hands are free. Here we go. Get off that neck. All right, well, come on, both of you, not both of you. All right, get up there. Punch up! Punch up! Come on! Go! 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Step back. Come on. Step back. All right, punch out of there. right, one step back, both of them. Step back clean. I don't know. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to step back. Come on. All right, one step. All right, one step back. Come on, one step back clean. Here we go. Come on. All right, one step back. Let him go. Come on, quit that. Both of them. Let him go. Here we go. Come on. All right, one step back, you guys. Yeah, here we go. Come on.
Tommy the Duke Morrison.
Obey my commands at all times. Obey the bell at all times. And protect yourself at all times. Don't touch him up or we don't go touch it. Very good. Let's roll.
Well, actually, he's one of the few of the Soviet fighters that are still around. They sent a couple of them back. I think they kept one of them, and I wouldn't even dare to pronounce his name right now. But
and Vaulin bounced right into the ring. This has been set up as one of those Rocky IV versus Rocky V fights.
well, Vaulin's moving the way that Tommy Gallagher didn't want him to move, and that's to his right. He wanted Vaulin to move to his left.
The crowd reacts to Morrison's aggressiveness.
But it still landed very solidly and didn't seem to affect him in the least.
Morrison had told us you see him dipping down. He wants to work the body a bit, but and Morrison doing some damage with both hands.
You hear Gallagher screaming for him to throw that left hand. He thinks that Morrison's open for it, and Vaulin isn't responding.
And the final seconds of this first round of the heavyweight fight.
Well, the CompuBomb stat on the jab thrown in round one was 33% landed by Vaulin and 17% landed by Morrison. Of course, he only threw 12 jabs. And there goes that left hand that they were asking for, and he's landing it.
Vaulin getting some punches in there.
As Morrison headhunting again, he should be hitting that body at every opportunity.
Morrison swinging and hitting air. Morrison landing a right. Big roar through the crowd moments ago with the arrival of Muhammad Ali at ringside.
Another straight hard left jab or right jab landed by Vaulin. Morrison's starting to look puffy already, and it's only been a round and a half.
Well, they said they expected the fight to be difficult, that Vaulin was awkward. They wanted to get Morrison some rounds.
They might have been putting the
left from Morrison. Little blood around the mouth of Morrison against the Russian fighter.
Vaulin's killer instincts here. Tommy Gallagher said he had a hard time getting him to really open up on his opponent, and here he looks like he means business tonight. He doesn't want to just win. Look at that, putting a three-punch combination and getting out. This is what he got to do all night to win the fight.
We wind down towards the end of the second round. Right hand from Morrison. Round three, it's scheduled for 10.
Well, the jab seems to be the deciding factor in this fight so far.
He treads into unfamiliar waters because most of his fights have ended in the first couple of rounds, Joe.
Especially his last few fights. He fought Pinkland Thomas, knocked him out in one.
With Tillis.
Well, Tommy Gallagher telling Vaulin to move, and the one time he didn't, he got caught with a left hook to the head. He really hasn't been throwing it that much, and he's I've seen him knock out quite a few guys with that right hand, but right now he's limited. He hasn't been throwing it very much at all. In fact, he doubled over in pain and fell to the canvas during sparring when he hit his sparring partner, Jerry Jones. Oh,
and Vaulin landing. He staggered Morrison. Morrison has never been down in his career.
He's got to stick to his game plan here, Vaulin. He shouldn't get overly confident because Tommy is still strong, even though he wobbled him.
Don't let him off the hook.
Well,
Don't let him back in the fight.
He's in, but he's holding on. He should stay to the outside. He's landing from the outside. Why quit there?
And he lands again with a left. Vaulin putting on a show in the 3rd round.
Putting on a show and catapulting himself to the top of the heavyweight division. If he takes out Morrison, he's rated in the top 10 in all 3 categories here.
And Morrison landed a left, but after paying the price. A strong round for the underdog, Yuri Vaulin, who's taken over control of this fight through 3.
If he doesn't do something to turn this tide in this fight.
Big 3rd round for Yuri Vaulin. Let's see how Morrison can respond here in the 4th. Lunged with a right from long distance, and the crowd reacted to it.
Well, it hit Vaulin right on the chin, and well, he came right back with his own 2 punches, but it looked like it stunned him for a second.
A left caught Vaulin going backwards. Referee Steve Smoger telling Tommy Morrison to punch his way out of there, out of the clinches. And a left hand from Vaulin.
Your hands are loose, that's it.
Doing that more consistently, it would definitely be taking the legs away from Vaulin. Certainly expended a lot of energy in these first 4 rounds for heavyweights. Oh, dynamite.
Vaulin with another fine combination. And now Morrison on the attack. He stunned Vaulin.
Well, just like I said, he was still dangerous, and he's got him rocked. Let me tell you, and Gallagher was worried about that. Dynamite uppercut.
And the crowd clearly on Morrison's side, as you can tell. It was Vaulin's fight through the first 4, and Morrison still tied with a big left hand. And Vaulin's hurt.
Body shot. That's it. They may stop the fight here. Doesn't look like he can continue. He looks like that shot took everything out of him.
7, 8. Okay.
Gallagher telling him not to quit. Oh,
and Vaulin hurt again.
Turned his back. That's got to be it. A fighter turns his back. I can't believe that Smoger is actually letting him get away with this.
4.
That's it.
That's it. Tommy Morrison, who was in trouble and rocked in the 4th round, but did not go down. That's the count and eventually stopped it. Vaulin low. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted him to be low, explosive, work the body, and that's exactly what he did to take out Yuri Vaulin.
27-0 with 23 KOs from Kansas City, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
I want to reiterate. I want no late hit out, intentional late hit after the bell. No intentionally hitting the man while he's down, and obey my commands at all times. Good luck to both of you.
Past the 6th round, his career 27 times. Morrison has never fought that distance.
You know, with that record Halstead has, he really should be in the Boxing Hall of Fame.
All those wins, but all in Oklahoma. Oh, Morrison been under a sun lamp. But he's supposed to be training in a gym.
Equipped with sun lamp, masseuse, and facial. Nice left hook by Tommy Morrison, but Halstead put out his jab and really kind of stunned Morrison there for a second. Punch into the back of Tommy Morrison's kidneys, which is an illegal punch there, getting him back for that low blow. A little irritated, and he's getting Morrison back for that low blow. And so far, he's given him kidney punches and a lace to the face. Toby Gibson is right on top of that.
That right hand connected. Halstead was moving backwards at the time.
Morrison, 20 punches, landed 6 for 30%.
Boy, Morrison snapping Halstead's head back with the jabs. Then the left hook connects.
And he hurt him with that left hook, but that's what set it up with those 2 jabs, Len. And here it is, 1, and he follows it again. Right here, steps in again, 2. Fell a little short.
Give me a clean break on my...
aggression, firing the combination. Exchange of jabs.
Stop punching.
Toby Gibson, an active referee here this evening, through 2 rounds.
He's got close to 500 pounds of fighter in there, and he's really going to have his work cut out for him if this goes a few rounds.
Again, the crisp jab from Morrison, snapping the head back on Halstead before it set up a big left hook. Inside of 30 seconds remaining in the second round. Another good combination from Tommy Morrison. Halstead landed a jab to try to get something going. Another one from Wimpy Halstead. Morrison in a momentary relaxing mood. Well, that jab continues to snap that head of Wimpy Halstead. Strong weapon from Tommy Morrison tonight, the jab.
Is to extend Tommy Morrison late into the fight. They're hoping what occurred against Morrison will happen tonight. But at the rate of what Tommy Morrison is doing, he looks very good, and he does look like a more relaxed fighter in this fight.
Ooh. Morrison again landing on Halstead.
But look at Halstead really maintained his balance and his composure.
Halstead with the showboat act with the right hand.
It's a little demoralizing. Morrison hit him with some great shots, and Halstead came back rough.
And the crowd now squarely on the side of Wimpy Halstead.
Now let's see, Wimpy Halstead, what has he done tonight? Rabbit punched. Oh, another low blow by Morrison.
And a good exchange. Well, Michael, that's what his camp was talking about to us this morning. That's the fine line they're trying to dance. Less aggressive, but more defense. Many fighters, their best defense is their offense. Here we go in round 4. A 1-point deduction in the 3rd round from Halstead for holding. And Halstead again, while he's held with the left hand, is punching with the right. That's exactly what Toby Gibson's talking to him about. Good right hand from Tommy Morrison.
Halstead has really been frustrating Morrison. There's one of the few times that Morrison has been able to land a clean shot.
So relaxation is one thing, Joe, but I'm looking for that big Tommy Morrison flourish, which we haven't seen at all. Morrison sneaks in the left hand. Final seconds of the 4th round.
Well, Vergetz wants him to get off. Don't put his head inside first and then let Halstead maul him and pull his head down. He wants him to get inside and get off quickly before he gets a chance to grab on.
Good combination, and Halstead is down. And hurt.
5, 6, 7. He's trying to shake his head off, and he's recuperating.
Give me your glove. You all right?
That's it. That's it.
And a good call from Toby Gibson. Good call.
Halstead said, "Where am I, if I'm not mistaken?" Slips, boom, right over the jab of Wimpy Halstead, and followed it with a nice short left uppercut that really snuck in there. And there
goes.
Those
feet go flying.
Boy. Eyes closed and glazed right there. Here we go again. Slips the jab right over the top.
Right,
got everything
and the
behind
left
it.
uppercut. Down he goes.
The winner by TKO, his record now 30 victories, 25 KOs, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
All right, you guys already had your instructions in the dressing room. I expect a clean fight. Touch gloves, wait for the bell.
passion as you do?
We're used to seeing some of the things we were fortunate to be able to work with a couple of years ago. We knew that a lot of heavyweights don't go to the body, and if you kill the body, the head will die too. And that's what we focused on doing early to try to keep him from running from us, and we're able to do it pretty well.
And the second knockdown, we can take a peek at also.
Basically the same thing, just trying to stay busy. I was hoping the fight would go a little longer, therefore we could get a chance.
To Bob Airman a moment about the heavyweight division, but what do you think?
Fight is going to be against Carl the Truth Williams on January 16th, and following that fight, he's signed to fight George Foreman in April.
Okay. And so all that, you feel confident that's the path you're going to take, no matter what happens?
The only thing that I differ with what Tommy said he might be a world champion.
The winner by knockout victory, his record now 34-1, 30 by KO victory, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
If he goes right there, I'm not going to call low. Okay, we've already had your instruction in the dressing room. Expect a tough, clean fight. Protect yourself. Let me come back here.
And referee Mills Lane gets things started here in the first round between Tommy Morrison and Carl Williams. Look for Morrison's patented left jab this evening. Williams particularly coming out with that flicking left jab. Morrison, of course, coming in, swinging away with that left hook. Referee Mills Lane, a no-nonsense referee, will not allow hitting on the break, and a left drops Williams here in the first round. That left hook coming out of nowhere to connect to the head of Carl Williams from a first-round knockdown at the hands of Morrison. Here's Morrison ducking low. You can see that left jab, and the right drops Williams' guard, and Morrison is able to come across with his left and knock down the seasoned veteran. There you see that strong left hook. There's a right uppercut from Tommy Morrison that misses. Could do a lot of damage to Williams as Williams comes with a left uppercut himself. Tommy Morrison on the offense early, knocking down Carl Williams in the first round. Referee Mills Lane cautions Williams to not put his gloves behind the head of Tommy Morrison. Morrison connecting again as the crowd would love to see a first-round knockout. Williams in the white with red trim. Tommy Morrison in black with red, white, and blue. Williams comes in trying to establish his left jab and left uppercut. And a huge overhand right from Morrison at the bell finishes the first round. As we mentioned earlier, this week in the press, he tries to establish that jab early on, but in so doing, he's dropping his guard in his right hand. Morrison has been able to connect with his left hook. That is his strength, that is his staple. Carl the Truth Williams is trying to establish his own game plan now with a left jab and get back on his feet after a first-round knockdown. Tommy Morrison, who has been known to come out in the first 2 or 3 rounds and expend a lot of energy trying to knock down an opponent. Former heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali, many times. There is a vicious left that connects to Williams as he tries to smile. There's that left jab of Carl Williams, which he turns into a left cross and connects to the chin of Tommy Morrison, faking with his right hand and then coming across with the left. If he's not careful, he'll be smiling from the canvas, looking up at Tommy Morrison, whose left hook has been very costly to Williams this evening. For him
as that left hook of Morrison's is devastating. As we come to the end of round number 2 here at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. Scheduled to go 10 rounds, heavyweight bout between Tommy Morrison and Carl Williams. Carl Williams has the vigor of a younger fighter. It will remain to be seen if that continues with him into the later rounds. Still dancing off his toes. Tommy Morrison is not necessarily fatigued as he delivers a left hook and sends Williams to the canvas for a second time. The highlights here. We'll see that left jab of Williams do no good as Morrison comes across with his own left hook. It's devastating, and it puts Williams on the canvas. Here it is from another angle. Carl Williams having something of a dazed expression on his face, justifiably so. Tommy Morrison closes in for more action with a right uppercut that misses as Williams continues to hold Tommy Morrison behind his head. The crowd chanting Duke, 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 Tommy Morrison's nickname, as now he continues to batter Carl Williams against the ropes. A vicious right hand, 2 right hands to the head of Carl Williams as Williams seems to be in trouble. Carl Williams wobbly on his legs. It would be an ideal time for Tommy Morrison to close the lights on the more experienced Williams. But Williams comes back with some of his own punches. Once again, that left hand behind the head of Tommy Morrison. He has been cautioned twice by referee Mills Lane. Morrison now closing in on Carl Williams with less than a minute left. Morrison looks to be loading up with the big punches to take Williams out. There's a left uppercut that scores but does no damage to Carl Williams. Williams tries to establish the left jab. Morrison stalking, looking for his opening. Morrison seemingly willing to take jabs in order to load up on his big punches. Williams comes back after Tommy Morrison throws an ineffective However, Williams has been repeatedly cautioned by referee Mills Lane for putting his right hand behind the neck of Tommy Morrison. Morrison now coming out with singing right and left hooks. Mills Lane, a no-nonsense referee, loves to see men box. He likes to say, let's get it on. He always finishes his instructions. There's a straight left jab of Morrison's that glances off the head of Carl Williams as they go into a clinch. He seemed to score with the left jab that many thought had disappeared from his staple of punches. There's a right uppercut. Morrison, though, a young fighter who has a tendency to load up. Another tradition that has plagued Tommy Morrison against more seasoned and more deadly opponents is his capacity to tire. And a right cross from Carl Williams to the head of Tommy Morrison sends Morrison to the canvas. Here's knockdown number 1 as Carl Williams comes in and delivers a left and right to the head of Morrison, sending him to the canvas. And he goes down twice. And Williams connects with a right uppercut as Tommy Morrison goes down for a second time. He tried to tackle Williams. It seemed about the only thing he could do. Here is the second knockdown after a left uppercut. Rocks the head of Tommy Morrison. And a chop behind the head. Williams, with all that experience, now closes in on the younger Morrison and continues to hammer Morrison behind the head with his right hands. We're in Nevada, and the 3 knockdown rule is in effect. Morrison has already been on the canvas twice. If Williams can deliver one more punch and send Morrison to the canvas, that will be it. And we're down to 10 seconds here in Reno, Nevada, as Tommy Morrison battles back, delivering a right hand and a left hook. Keep the capacity crowd here at the Reno Sparks Convention Center riveted to their seats. Morrison now throwing his left jab at Williams. Another left rocks the head of Carl Williams. Williams attempts to counter, and whatever Morrison's corner said seems to be working, as he seems to be more elusive in this 6th round. One thing Morrison cannot do is stand still. One thing Morrison cannot do is be a sitting duck for Williams. He has too much experience, as he did so twice in round number 5. Williams comes out flicking that left jab, trying to set Tommy Morrison off as Morrison stalks and connects to the head of Carl Williams. Tommy Morrison's left eye beginning to swell. Thus far, the only mark on Carl Williams has been the blood coming out of his mouth early in the 2nd round. And we go under a minute now in round number 6, scheduled 10-round heavyweight bout between Tommy the Duke Morrison and Carl the Truth Williams. Upset of Tommy Morrison, as he sent him twice to the canvas, and he could not set him down a 3rd time. Under Nevada rules, 3 knockdown rule is in effect. Tommy Morrison scoring heavily now with rights and lefts to the head of Carl Williams, and the crowd definitely in Tommy Morrison's corner. The bell sounds the round number 7 as Morrison begins to stalk Carl Williams. Morrison is in the black with the red, white, and blue. Williams in the white with red trim. Young conditioning against a seasoned veteran. Morrison coming with that stinging left hook to the head of Williams. And we're under the halfway point in round number 7, as neither fighter takes an advantage thus far in the round. Round number 5, Carl Williams sent Tommy Morrison to the canvas twice. That's a curse and a blessing. If he can land the big punch, out goes Williams. If he can't, Williams can score jabs, and he scores now. Morrison will lose a jabbing war. Williams ducks away from a looming, booming right hand by Tommy Morrison. Once again, Williams setting up that jab that many writers, many sportscasters had thought had left the aging boxer. But thus far, the left jab has set up the right of Carl Williams. And on 2 occasions in round number 5, he has sent Morrison to the canvas. The right cross connects to the head of Tommy Morrison as Morrison backs Williams into the rope. Morrison tries scoring to the body unsuccessfully. There's a left to the head of Williams, and right crosses, and Morrison comes out with that left hook, and there's a right uppercut. There's a left hook that sends Williams back against the rope, and he is dazed, but can Morrison put him away? Williams wades back in again, throwing lefts and rights to a Williams who covers up. And referee Mills Lane looks at Carl Williams and says that's it. Predicated, presumably, on the fact that Williams was not throwing any punches in retaliation.
Round number 8,
the winner by TKO victory, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
This is for the championship of the world. I expect a tough, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Any questions here? Any questions here? Let's get it on.
Kind of controversy around the fight that really wasn't there, and we begin round one. It's scheduled for 12. Very few think it will last that long. Patriotic approach as usual by Tommy Morrison, if nothing else wins a few fans. Round one, scheduled 12-rounder left by Morrison, too high. To let Tommy Morrison know he's in with the best fighter he's ever fought.
All right, ho, ho, ho.
I am telling you, Morrison throws a big bag of wheat. We are 5 rows back, and I'm feeling it from here. He said he's a better fighter now. And Foreman made a mistake, lunged in, didn't throw a punch, and Morrison makes him pay for it. Morrison wins the first. He pretty much knows every trick in the bag. So here we go, round two. Foreman, white trunks, takes a big left. Morrison saying midweek, hey, I'm a different fighter. I'm not a one-dimensional slugger. He comes out of the clinch with a left that partially lands, and probably even Mills Lane is Morrison's reaction when he first gets tagged by Foreman. There's a left jab that lands. Oh, a big right by Morrison.
Right side elbow, come on, right side.
That's reportedly when George wanted to go for the knockout. That's probably his best punch of the fight, actually. Under a minute in the second. Everything is meant to kill. Foreman lands a big right. That Foreman's best punch late in the round. Brief flurry. And Morrison comes back, pushes George off with a left and a right, then another left. All landed none solidly. Morrison doing almost all the work at this point, and that's what Foreman said. He was going to let him work his way out. A right uppercut hits Morrison, and then George leans into him, comes with another big right. Morrison's ready for the challenge. Fakes and flints will keep George off of you, and a fake will keep you away from Morrison. George will just lean on it. He's been able to do that with most guys, but you can't get that close to Morrison. A little closer within George's range. He's got a slight reach advantage, 1 inch to be exact. Left hand lands. Morrison wild with the left, a very dangerous punch. The end of the round should be interesting. A combination of Foreman's experience and Morrison's fatigue. Everybody on the edge of their seats, waiting for the big punch to be delivered from either side. Tommy's come back with vengeance.
Time.
A little more aggressive round for Morrison, but Tommy held up well. Actual fight, but the aerial view gives you a better look at it. Foreman gets tagged when he comes out. Marches right into a right from Morrison. Foreman more aggressive. We didn't hear his corner. They apparently told him to go right after it. He landed a right, Morrison a left. Marquee punches for both fighters. Morrison a straight left, George a straight left of his own. Second, Morrison's mouthpiece came out. He looked down after the more of a slap. Couple of rights by Foreman. Morrison comes out of it, goes swinging, and swinging big. Morrison hit and hit hard again. Mills Lane seemingly a foot smaller than either fighter. A left by Morrison, almost to the ear of Foreman. Morrison leaned in with a right hand. Foreman a little puffiness over his right eye. Oh, big right by George, and Morrison comes out swinging. George went right.
Pound.
Morrison lands with a big right. Seemingly didn't hurt Foreman, who comes back with a left of his own. Foreman turned his back on him. Leaning a little more, that is dangerous. He's leaning into George a little more. I said earlier, it's the 5th and 6th where he loses some of his strength. 10 seconds left in the round. The round's over. In the last couple of rounds, they're leaning toward the end of it. The minute mark to go. Nice left by Morrison. Lands cleanly. He sprays sweat everywhere. Doubling with a right, a rarity for Foreman. Usually a single punch puncher. Good jab, follows with a right. That's about the extent of any Foreman combination. George with those long arms just keeps you at bay. Although Morrison much more movement. And Foreman's jab, though always effective, isn't deterring Morrison's effort. Oh, a right by Morrison, or make it Foreman, almost staggered himself, and Tommy comes back with it. Angelo Dundee telling Foreman the jab is everything. Those are some of Foreman's 10 seconds left in the round. Morrison overreaches, then comes back with a punishing right hand, follows with a left jab. Round's over. It would be a stunner, to put it mildly, if it went 12. Foreman lands a good punch. Morrison, wild, missed both times. Not a good sign. Then he lands with a right. Foreman lands with a left and a right.
What combination? Inside.
That right hand by Morrison that connected, but undaunted, Foreman came right back. Foreman's corner furious, livid at Mills Lane for that last low blow warning. Here we go. 7th round, a busy one. Foreman getting to Morrison. Heavy-handed, hurting him. Tommy moves out of the way. He said he's a better fighter, not a one-dimensional fighter. He can do more than slug. Foreman lands a good right, hurt Morrison. Morrison's taking an uppercut. Both land with the left. George, a left and a right. Though it appears unsuccessful to this point. What a heavy right by Foreman. Feet on the side of his face. Just a big, heavy right. Morrison kind of trying to refit his glove.
All right, George,
Foreman
get him
low
up.
with the right.
Let's go, come on.
Yelling at him to get him up. And Foreman nodding. Very aware, very composed of where he's at. 45 gone in the 8th. Heavy-handed Foreman, throwing a variety of punches. Morrison really never took a big shot, more of an elbow from Foreman. That'll work. We'll probably get a look at that low blow again. Illustration of the power he's trying to get, bringing everything he has. Triples up on the left. Morrison with a slow right and almost got 10 with a left. He's faking and flinching better than before. Listening to his corner. WBO heavyweight championship, 12 rounds. Nice left by Morrison, his best punch in 2 rounds. Everything was speed and get out when you feel heat. George missed with a left, followed with a right and missed again. Here comes Morrison, a couple huge punches, the left just landed. Speed's never been his forte. Power always has been. Nice uppercut. Foreman just not throwing that many punches, really. Doing more leaning than punches. Evenly split. Strong convictions on both sides. Many loving the youth of Morrison, especially in these later rounds. He just never threw it. He hasn't thrown it much tonight. That's been the story for Foreman. That's about the extent of George's punches tonight. Better than it was. An early round punch spraying a lot of water and sweat. Big right by Foreman. That landed. George with a body shot. And a right that did little. He hit him in the back. Morrison's hurt a little bit. Foreman's going after him. Tommy lands a right. He wanted the fight stopped. Mills Lane would have nothing to do with it. Morrison extends in a right, doesn't land cleanly. George with a couple of rights of his own. Morrison ducks out of the way and lands a right. Morrison clearly tired. Nice right. Ooh, and Foreman's better punches of the night. Those body shots of George wearing on him. He comes out of a clinch with a big left.
It's going to cost him a point. It's going to cost.
Foreman missed wildly. Round's over. 20 years younger, but nonetheless tired. Morrison's got his work cut out for him to protect a small lead. Morrison to this point holding true to his prediction that he is a better fighter, a little more savvy, a little brighter in the ring. That's been Morrison's best punch tonight, breaking out of the clinch with a big left. Foreman was low, but it didn't connect. Foreman landed a straight jab that's done little tonight. Foreman knows this is a close fight. Though he probably doesn't feel he has to knock him out to win. Morrison's right, a good punch, follows with a left. George bent Morrison's neck back with a left. George missed with a big left. Then landed with a right. Right eye, a little more. Morrison, just a few bumps. Foreman chance go up and Morrison stops him. Big George has him against the ropes, just can't extend. There he does, and lands a good one to Morrison. He called time but didn't follow through with it. The tape's everywhere. Tape is everywhere. It's coming off him. Fight is over. Fight is over. Mills Lane did what he had to do. Not popular, clearly, with the fans.
For the winner and new champion, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
Any questions? Here's my 2-second over here, right here. How about right here, right here? All right, gentlemen, good luck to you. The bell, let's come out and rumble. Hillary.
He has a chance to go far in this sport, but I love Tommasek.
Well, he's a character, that's for sure.
Yeah, he really is. He's just got the right attitude about this. People in this sport take this thing much too seriously.
Now, for those of you that have not seen Tommasek fight before, we've had him on ESPN a couple of times.
Tommasek fought a couple of weeks ago at the Missouri State Fair in Sedalia. Joking aside, Tommy Morrison can punch.
Yeah. And I give Foreman credit that when he got hit with a couple of those big left hooks, he didn't go down. And if you need to be able to whack Tommy Morrison to keep him off you. He's trying to keep his left hand real high because he knows that hook is. He kind of shows Tommy Morrison, yeah, you hit me in the head, but it was okay.
And there's already a little reddening around the right eye of Tim Tommasek. Tommasek continues to clown. Well, there's a high entertainment quotient in this fight, I'll say that.
Will he be able to sustain this kind of frenetic movement over a number of rounds?
He's got a little swelling under his right eye already, and that could pose a problem. But Morrison's jab is really right there. Right hand from Morrison as we come to the end of the first round. Tim Tommasek and Tommy Morrison for the WBO championship.
Of Larry Holmes running around that ring, jabbing, doing his shtick.
Everybody gets 15 minutes in the spotlight, and this is Tim Thomasek.
And Tommy Morrison in this round looks like he'd like to make it just 15. Well, with the jab, I lied. 12 out of 37 for jabs for Thomasek, 12 out of 17 for Morrison. So they're even in the jabs. Call me a liar.
What Thomasek doesn't want to do is get too brave here. That would be a serious mistake.
Yeah, because he'll get whacked.
Numbers in the first round, and you can see Morrison very effective with the jab, actually. Morrison didn't even crank the hook that much. A little blood from the nose of Thomasek.
Playing with Danny Campbell. The refereeing in this state, I have to say, they're very active. They're always around the fighters. They break the clinches a lot quicker and everything. You have to be ready for that.
That serves Thomasek well.
Well, yeah.
Watch your hands down.
Thomasek, from a tactical point of view, is not fighting a bad fight at all.
Tommy Morrison looking for the hook. There he landed it again. It almost borders on, it doesn't border on, it becomes intrusive to the fight, in truth.
Thomasek making a conscious effort to protect against that left hook, and he did get hit with it on the break.
Work now, work.
Nice combinations by Thomasek, but of course those punches not really hurting Morrison.
But getting there.
Yeah.
10 seconds, work at it.
So in the end of the second round. Oh, Morrison didn't shake his hand. He hit him with the right hand. End of 2.
Tim's getting his moment here, isn't he? And meanwhile, Tommy Morrison's starting to whack him with left hook.
Keep him up. Now inside work. Inside work. Break out.
And backhands.
See, and this is about where, because of the ever-constant and ever-omnipresent refereeing by Danny Campbell, it allows more of the craziness to go on with Thomasek. Morrison right hand, a punch that most people don't consider a big punch for Tommy, but he has a good right hand. And Tommy Morrison's being very workmanlike here.
Yes. Back in November of 1990. Since that time, however, he's lost a few fights, but he hasn't been off his feet.
And it looks like he may last through the third here against Morrison.
I don't really believe Morrison's hurting yet. You know, Morrison was there for that right hand, but it's just that Thomasek does not have the power to.
This crowd's getting a little restless. I think they want to see Tommy Morrison win in a knockout and defend his WBO heavyweight title.
Through the first 3 rounds, Morrison with a decided edge. Very high connect percentage. Actually, Morrison, I think, doing a pretty workmanlike job.
Yeah, he's fighting very well. The problem is, when you tell the crowd, tell the world.
Morrison doesn't want to be made to look silly.
No.
Working that hands are free. Hang on.
I've never seen refereeing more intrusive than in this state. They're going to get on me for this, but I'll tell you what, I've never seen it. It's just, I know that the intentions are good to try and keep the fight moving, but it's very intrusive.
Break at it. Come on, let go.
Good left hand, he cranked that one, did Morrison. Double left hand, that buckled the knees of Thomasek. I think Morrison has Thomasek hurt for the first time.
There's an example of swelling around the eyes of Tim Thomasek.
Hands are free, gentlemen. Hands are free.
And interestingly, it's the right, not the left, that's doing a lot of big damage, although that hook got in there.
Thomasek laying in on Morrison a lot more in this round than he has been.
It's part of the reason why he's being hit a lot harder.
Good double left hand again. That hurts Thomasek. And down goes Thomasek from the barrage of punches. Still a little wobbly.
You know, it doesn't leave people with the feeling that they understood it.
Now here's Tim Thomasek getting whacked with the left hook. He was hurt in the last round, hurt badly. Took some big shots from Tommy Morrison, and really was hurt even before those last couple of shots. From another angle, you'll see the good hand speed by Morrison. Morrison gave a nice workmanlike effort tonight. Stayed within himself, didn't have to worry about being hurt, so that helped him.
Can't be saved by the bell, remember.
The back, work.
But he's going to get through it.
That's it. Good fight. Proud of you. Really, it is. Okay. You've done great. You really have, but I tell you what, I know, and you could have gone farther, but really, it's not.
Calls a halt to the bout at the end of the 4th round. The winner by TKO, retaining his WBO title, still heavyweight champion from Kansas City, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
Okay, gentlemen, you received them earlier. Do you have any questions? Give me a good, clean fight. Listen to my command.
Tuia 12-3 with 9 knockouts. Tommy Morrison 38-2. But unfortunately, I believe America will remember the 2 more than they will the 38.
The rest was downhill for Morrison.
Now, Tuia has already beaten a member of the Morrison family. He only had 1 fight last year. That was in November when he lost an 8-round decision to Brian Scott. Overhand right by Tuia.
He is not, obviously, he's not a guy at the top of the picture.
Well, he's had enough wake-up calls. He's got to start to take it seriously. Pretty good left hand from Morrison. When he fought Brian Scott, he fought him at night, and he worked in the potato packing plant for 10 hours that day.
I hope he came in here with a little more rest. At the end of his first round.
If anything, he's been his own worst enemy in his career. Still time for him, though. Pretty interesting first round. There's a right hand again.
Throwing right hands in there like there's no tomorrow. I mean, anytime he wants, that right hand's getting right through the defense of Morrison.
Starting to get confidence, too. The uppercut is getting there. There's the right hand again.
Story in the heavyweight division of Vander Holyfield, apparently, and Manuel Stewart have parted ways.
That's right, yeah, we just heard that today.
It was a monetary dispute. By the way, congratulations to Rafael Ruiz for a terrific performance against Freddie Pendleton. Tuia coming from way out, leaving himself open for counters, and that time he was countered by Morrison with the left hook.
Good as he wants to be.
Absolutely. He has skills, he understands boxing.
Tuia not having a bad round here.
Morrison coming back a bit.
There's a jab of Morrison, and the left hand drives Tuia into the ropes.
Tuia is starting to throw that uppercut from way back, and I assure you if he keeps doing it, the left hook of Morrison will hit him.
We come to the end of the second round, and a huge shot by Tuia, or rather by Morrison, knocks Tuia down. One time too many.
Was down and in some trouble.
And now Tuia in retreat. Numbers through 2 rounds. Morrison with an edge.
Tuia again got the right hand there, but it had no impact on Morrison.
There's another good straight right hand, and down goes Tuia, and that's it, it's over. Clearly was a knockdown.
Oh, that was definitely a knockdown.
Clearly.
Martin Casino feeling it wasn't, but he got hit with a big right hand.
And an uppercut there from Morrison. I thought he was stopping the fight.
Tuia has not landed a jab. He's 0 for 11 in the jabbing department. Well, that's the uppercut from the outside. That's what happens when you throw the uppercut from way back, you get hit with the hook.
And another good left hand, the right hand by Morrison. Morrison now taking it.
And by and large, he has done that here tonight, although he's pointed out he's not in there against one of the great heavyweights of all time, or even of the current time. And now Tuia not able to do anything offensively. See, again, there's the uppercut from the outside. Very bad idea by Tuia.
lunged with that left hook. Uppercut by Morrison. Down goes to Win. Still almost a minute left in the second round.
He might as well stay there.
It's over. So, Tuivasa came and saw but didn't conquer.
But by the time Morrison unleashed the power and there hit him with the uppercut, one thing Morrison showed again is...
Ladies and gentlemen, with 2 minutes and 13 seconds left in round 3, the winner by knockout, Tommy the Duke Morrison.